The UN International Court of Justice has issued a directive for Israel to cease its military operations in Rafah, Gaza immediately, citing severe humanitarian concerns. Judge Nawaf Salam announced the decision at The Hague, responding to an urgent plea from South Africa. South Africa's application to the International Court argued for stronger measures regarding the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Israeli authorities have dismissed the International Court of Justice's order, labeling the genocide allegations by South Africa as baseless and offensive. Israel's stance is that their military actions are defensive, aiming to dismantle Hamas and rescue hostages. In line with international law, Israel assures that its military efforts in Rafah will not lead to the destruction of the Palestinian civilian population. The Israeli government is committed to facilitating humanitarian aid and minimizing harm to Gaza's civilians. Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and senior cabinet members regarding the International Court of Justice's ruling. South Africa has repeatedly called for action against Israel, which is part of a broader genocide lawsuit filed in December. The UN has previously mandated Israel to prevent genocide and ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid. Hamas has endorsed the International Court of Justice's decision and urges global entities to pressure Israel. Egypt and Jordan have also supported the court's verdict, calling on the UN Security Council to influence Israel to halt its military campaign. The Palestinian Authority seeks intensified global pressure on Israel to adhere to the court's decision, asserting that Israel's actions constitute war crimes. South Africa have praised the court's decision as a reaffirmation of justice and human rights, echoing Nelson Mandela. President Cyril Ramaphosa stated that true freedom is unattainable until Palestine is free. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres emphasizes that the international court's decisions are obligatory, expecting compliance from the involved parties. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has discussed with Benny Gantz the progress towards a ceasefire and the reopening of the Rafah border crossing. The U.S. emphasizes the protection of civilians and humanitarian workers in Gaza and seeks to de-escalate tensions in the West Bank. The rulings by the International Court of Justice (ICJ) regarding Israel's actions in Gaza have significant implications. The court has ordered Israel to ensure unimpeded access to Gaza for UN aid officials, fact-finding missions, investigators, and journalists. This measure aims to assess and record conditions on the ground and preserve evidence. Israel must take all necessary steps to provide urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance to Palestinians throughout Gaza, including food, water, electricity, shelter, and medical supplies. The worsening conditions of life faced by Palestinians in Gaza, including famine and starvation, are central to these measures. If the court rules that Israel's occupation is illegal, it could have far-reaching trade implications. UN bodies and nations may be compelled to refrain from supporting or contributing to the current situation. The legitimacy of Israel's position could be significantly affected, potentially impacting international trade relations. The court's orders hold Israel accountable for its actions. By preventing the delivery of humanitarian assistance, Israel could be in violation of the rights of Palestinians in Gaza as a protected group under the Genocide Convention. Israel is required to submit a report on the implementation of these provisional measures within 1 month. The court's decisions carry weight, and all member states are expected to abide by them. International pressure may increase on Israel to comply with the court's orders. Other countries, such as South Africa, have actively pursued legal avenues to address the situation in Gaza. Diplomatic efforts may intensify to ensure compliance with humanitarian norms and international law. The court's involvement highlights the urgency of resolving the Israel-Gaza conflict. By addressing the humanitarian crisis, the court aims to contribute to stability in the region. The ruling may influence negotiations, ceasefire talks, and efforts to prevent further escalation. In summary, the court's rulings underscore the need for immediate action to alleviate the suffering in Gaza, hold accountable those responsible, and seek a path toward peace and justice. However, the practical impact depends on how various stakeholders respond to and enforce these measures.